Hey guys, Tamago here, and welcome back to the Neopets Experience. So, let's not beat around the bush. I abandoned Brightlegs. It has been a hot minute, and I'm fairly sure he hates my guts right now. And rightfully so. I haven't played with him, I haven't fed him, I withdrew him from the Battle Dome match, therefore causing him to incur his first loss, and we didn't even properly celebrate the 20th anniversary of Neopets. Honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna make it up to the guy. How about 2.3 million Neo points? That's right, your boy is now a Neopets millionaire. Now, how exactly did this happen? Did I find some sort of Neopets points generator 2020 100% working, not clickbait? Well, no, the truth is, despite it being months since I've properly engaged with the game, I have actually been logging in every day to complete Trudy's surprise. You might remember this from episode 1, and whilst I have been very clear in my distaste of slot machines on this website, the cool thing about this one in particular is there's no entry fee and you always win something. And if you come back to it every day, you can win special prizes as well as the 100,000 Neopoint jackpot every 25 days in a row that you play. So a few months of doing that and I managed to climb my way up from dressing my pet in a potato sack to millionaire status. Quite literally from rags to riches. Now that's what you call socioeconomic mobility. In the process of playing Trudy's surprise and winning multiple special prizes, I managed to fill up my inventory past its limit, and so I figured it was time to clear up some space. First, I tried to kill two birds with one stone by feeding some of the food I'd accumulated to Brightlegs. This included some spicy red pepper omelette, some raspberry jelly, and a crate of fruit. Wait, wearable? How do you wear fruit? Continuing the effort to clear my inventory, I tried to feed Brightlegs some pear-flavored jelly, but to my surprise, he was absolutely disgusted by the prospect. And this wasn't just a one-off thing, I tried it again, and still Brightlegs said no. So he has flavor preferences. Huh. I learn something new about him every day. I must say though, it is kind of odd that he would be so eager to eat a crust-only pizza, and yet so against trying something pear-flavored. I mean, what's wrong with pears? They're great, you can even wear them. Once Brightlegs had had his fill, it turned out I'd hardly made a dent in my inventory, and so I decided to move pretty much every non-edible item into my safety deposit box, essentially a secondary inventory space. I also set up a gallery so Brightlegs could show off some of his most prized possessions. Not trying to flex too much on the haters, but my inventory is full, so I'ma have to move some stuff into display. Don't get too jelly, okay? Now with my inventory looking more manageable, it's time to get into some games. First up was Fairy Bubbles. In this one, you use a cannon to shoot out different colored bubbles, and your objective is to clear the stage before any bubbles reach the bottom of the screen. Each color represents an element, and these have different properties that are activated when 4 or more of the same type are connected. The cool thing about this game is it forces you to be strategic with the combos you make. For example, with water and fire bubbles, you probably want to make as large a combo as possible, whereas for the other bubbles, you'd be better off eliminating them in groups of 3 so as to not set off their effects.
I'm f***ing dead, dude. I'm f***ing dead, dude. Yeah, there's nothing I...
The music and sounds here are also quite relaxing, and overall, this game is just a nice time. I'm giving Fairy Bubbles a 7 out of 10. Following up was Fiora's Quest. This is a puzzle game where you play as Quaglor and must traverse through different levels whilst collecting gems, unlocking ladders, and avoiding traps. You really have to think about the order of your actions in this game because one wrong move can get you stuck, meaning you have to restart the level. There's also a level editor that allows you to create puzzles of your own and save it so that other players can give it a go, and finally there's the level of the week, which I can't be entirely sure actually updates every single week considering how old this game is, but the one that's there now seems pretty impressive. This is one of those games where you'll have to fail a level a couple of times before you finally figure out the perfect way to do it, and I found that aspect quite fun. I'm giving Fiora's Quest an 8 out of 10. After that was Feed Florg. In this game, you control a robotic hand and have to prevent the different pets from running off the table before Florg can eat them. If you want a game that makes you feel absolutely terrible, then this is definitely the one to play. All the pets are rightfully petrified and crying, and you are the one preventing them from making their escape. Once Florg does eat one, you're also subject to the sound of him chewing on these adorable little creatures. I mean, it is really quite something. Cruelty aside though, I wasn't a big fan of this game because of the random nature in which pets spawn and move, as well as the randomness of Florg choosing to eat them. You can't predict how fast the pets are gonna move on the table or when they'll get eaten, and often this results in situations where it's literally impossible to keep all of them from falling off. You can't move the hand that quickly either, so much of your success in this game is down to luck rather than skill, since once 5 pets have escaped, it's game over. Still, it's an alright game to play for a couple of minutes, I guess. 4 out of 10. Next up was Gadgad's game. In this one, you need to group fruits of the same type together and clear them from the board using fruit bombs. I think this is a pretty cool take on the Tetris formula, and it was super satisfying to clear large groups of fruit at once. I would have liked it even better if it had some chilled out tropical background music to accompany it, but I had a good time nonetheless. Gadgad's game gets a 7 out of 10. Now, since the last episode, I had managed to accumulate a lot of Neo mail from you guys watching, so much so that my inbox actually filled up and now I can't receive any new messages. So I wanted to thank everyone who sent through a message. All of them were either helpful or super nice, so I appreciate your support for the series. But to my surprise, messages weren't the only thing I had been receiving. It turns out quite a few of you guys had also been sending through Neocache items. I actually had 3 pages of gift boxes to open, and once I did, I couldn't believe it. Neopets user Starry Skies sent me the entire Hero of Neopia collection for Brightlegs to wear. You might remember us window shopping for this in episode 1. We also got some cool Space Trooper armor, leather wings, and this lovely decorated gift box from Enitol containing this weird glow suit. But 2 gift boxes in particular that genuinely got me so hyped up when I opened them were sent in by Bandana Waddle D24 and Pigman 101. They sent the pastel blue and sparkling red hair bows. Now, if you're a real one, you know the story behind these, no explanation needed. I want to give a special thank you to everyone who sent in a gift. I'm sure that much like me, at the end of the last episode, you couldn't bear to see Brightlegs so upset in his potato sack dress, so you decided to help out, and we really appreciate it. I do want to quickly say though, for anyone watching this series, please don't feel the need to send me anything, especially Neocache items. I got so many this time, there were even some I had to return to sender because they were duplicates. The goal of this series is to try and play every single game on the website and explore Neopia while doing it, so it's not necessary to send in any gift items. That being said, if you do choose to send something mine and Brightlegs' way, please understand that I won't be mentioning every item I receive in these videos, so I encourage you to only send something if you absolutely want to. Now, with all these gifts opened and in my inventory, let's check out some more games. Up next was Fetch. In this game, you play as this, rotting bloomaroo who's placed in a maze, and your goal is to find a specific item and exit the maze before you run out of moves. I was tasked with finding a rotten peach puss. Don't ask me. Now, I'm assuming this is one of the older games on the site because it's not a flash game, and every time you make a move, the entire web page reloads, similar to Cell Block in episode 2. I actually managed to find the peach puss, but then I was left with only 24 moves to exit the maze and no idea where to begin. So eventually I ran out of moves, and I think my guy died or something, or like died even more because he wasn't looking too alive to begin with. Honestly, I wasn't feeling this one. Fetch gets a 2 out of 10. After that, I tried to play Froomball, but alas, it was a shockwave game. so instead I played Flycatcher. In this one you play as a Quiggle, and your goal is to clear the screen of flies by catching them with your tongue. Each level also has lilies that block your path, as well as bees that can give you lots of points if eaten, but can also cost you a life if they sting you. I found the gameplay to be pretty fun, and I liked the animation and art design. I think the game could have been even better with power-ups, maybe one that allowed you to shoot your tongue out faster, or one that meant lilies could be taken out in one go, but nonetheless, what's here is still quite good. I'm giving Flycatcher a 7 out of 10. Next was Freaky Factory. Now this is a game where you have to pay attention because there is a lot going on here. Now scrolling across the top of the screen, you have these 3 different colored blobs of liquid creludite. This is the substance that the factory uses to produce toys. The blobs come in different sizes and move at different speeds, so you have to be thoughtful of when you click on them so they can land in the correct vat. If you mistime it and the blob misses the vat, it contributes to your overflow, and if that gets too high, it's game over. But that's not it. If any of the individual vats get full and you add more to them, then that will also contribute to the overflow. This is why it's important to pay attention to the chart, which shows which colors and how much of them are needed to produce the next toy. But wait, there's more. A Grundo thief is lurking about who every so often will attempt to steal toys from the production line, meaning it'll take you longer to meet your quota. And if you thought that was it, you're out of luck, buddy. Not only do you have to pay attention to how full each individual vat is, watch the overflow meter, keep the Grundo thief at bay, and ensure each liquid blob lands in the correct place, you also have to make sure that the liquid blobs you're clicking on are indeed liquid blobs and not evil fuzzballs in disguise. If you drop one of these in a vat, it'll contribute to your overflow and cause you to lose the game. And all this before the timer runs out. You have to have your eye on the ball. You can't lose focus for even a second when you're playing this game. There are also special items that help you out, such as the soap that clears the overflow meter. And as the game goes on, a wider variety of blob types start appearing. This one is definitely a challenge, but also one of the most fun and involving games I've played on this website so far. It's one I'd absolutely enjoy coming back to try and beat my high score, and so for that reason, I have no problem giving Freaky Factory a 9 out of 10. Following up from that was Fashion Fever. This is one of those typical dress-up games where you put clothes on a character and you can customize their features and whatnot. I was never into these types of games, and so chances are I wasn't gonna be particularly into this one, but something that definitely didn't help was the fact that it was so basic. You only get 3 Neopets species to choose from. You couldn't even select an Aisha, which literally appears on the start screen for the game. There are a few different tops, bottoms, and accessories to choose from, as well as some backgrounds, but honestly, I'm not quite sure what the point of this game's existence even is. You can already do this stuff in Neopets. Customizing and dressing up your pet is kinda one of the main features of the website, so why did they make it again? With that said, I used to load up this game all the time back in the day for one simple reason. This is perhaps the only game on Neopets where you can start the game, then immediately end the game and still get 300 Neopoints. It doesn't matter what you do in between clicking this button and this button, you will get exactly 300 points. So I'd always just send my score 3 times to get the quick 900 and then make my way out. One thing I discovered this time around, however, was that the game lets you send a postcard of your character to a friend via email. So I guess that's one thing it has going for it. Except I tested it out by entering one of my own emails, and days later, I am still yet to receive it. Fashion Fever gets a 3 out of 10. Get this junk off my screen. After playing that game, I felt it was about time I customized my actual Neopet. So I moved all the clothing items I received into the closet, and Brightlegs' extreme makeover would begin. Obviously, we gotta place the sparkling red bow on there, no question about it. As for the full outfit, you know I had to go with the Hero of Neopia collection. Brightlegs might not be the hero Neopia deserves, but he's the one they need right now. Get that raggedy ass potato sack out of here. Of course, we gotta keep the diploma on full display. Can't have people going around thinking my Neopet is uneducated around here. Come on now. And there we have it. Doesn't he just look great? I now feel like a real Neopian elite. Not only do I have the big bucks, I've also dressed up my pet. Truly a mark of high society. With Brightlegs now styled up, it was time for a few more games, and next on the agenda was Fairy Crossword. This is, well, it's just a crossword puzzle really. They give you clues and you have to fill out the words. The clues were mostly based on the website and its lore, so I have no shame in admitting I had to do a bit of Google searching to find the answers. There's really not much to it though. It's a crossword, it gets a 5 out of 10. Next game was Fruit Machine, which was just another slot machine type deal, so let's just get this over with. I spun, I lost, I disqualified. And last but not least, I played Igloo Garage Sale, the game. This one's pretty straightforward. You control the purple chia and have to slide left and right across the ice to catch the items being dropped from above. If you miss 5 items in a level or get hit by a piano, it's game over. I thought this game was quite good. The character controls as though it's actually on slippery ice, which makes the movement more interesting, and the difficulty definitely steps up as you get into the later levels, with obstacles such as bombs being introduced. I don't get why they didn't include some sort of indicator of how many items you've missed so you can keep track, but this wasn't too big a deal. I always lost by the piano anyway. I'm giving Igloo Garage Sale a 7 out of 10, thus concluding the games for this episode. However, questions still remain. Will I adjust to my newfound millionaire status? Will Brightlegs eventually warm up to the pear-flavored jelly? And most importantly, will I ever receive my Fashion Fever postcard? Find out next time on the Neopets Experience.